Hey everybody, it's TR back with another RV how-to video, and today I am showing you the tools I use to make sure I've got decent cell coverage when I'm out boondocking. So I'll be honest with you, this is my third try trying to make this video because I keep getting off in the weeds. And what's driving this video is I made another video about how I was using my directional antenna to improve my upload speed so I could upload a YouTube video like this one. And what I found was that on my omnidirectional antenna on my cell phone booster, I was getting about 17 megs down, about 0.7 megs up. 0.7 megs is pitiful, and so I got the directional antenna that I've had on the back of the RV now for almost a year and got it pointed at a cell phone tower, at least the one I thought that was closest to me, and lo and behold, I was getting like almost 6 megs up and 60 to 80 megs down. I was surprised. So I was really happy with the results, and I posted a video about that. Well, I didn't show the tools very well, and I kind of glossed over that, so I'm going to take this opportunity to show you those now. So let's go over here to the workstation. What you see here is probably the first tool I use a lot, and that's Google Earth. Google Earth is an amazing tool. It's free. You can download an application. It runs on cell phones. I'm running this on a Windows 10 desktop. You can do all kinds of really fun stuff with it, but for now, let's just zoom into where we're currently camped. And that's at Birch Creek in Idaho. One of my favorite places to go dry camp. It's a BLM 14-day site, and I come here all the time. Let's get this map up here to where it looks normal. There we go. And then let's turn that line off just for now. And so basically what you're seeing here is that's kind of where I'm parked. Let me come out here to the region so you can kind of see where we're at regionally. Here's Idaho Falls, Rexburg. This area in here is called Mud Lake and Territon. This area out here is Monteview. And then this is Idaho 28, which kind of disappears until I think you zoom up here a little bit. So when it comes to cellular service, I think of it as kind of three things. There's first-hand knowledge, okay, so that's, you've been there before, you know what the situation is going to be, you know what you need to do to get your cell service. Then there's second-hand knowledge. Second-hand knowledge goes to somebody else saying that there's service there. And I'm going to go over here to a website called cellmapper.com. And so what you see here is these are areas where the cell signal has been reported back to a central server that are good. What happens is you install a client on your phone, and as you drive around, the client reports back to this cell mapper company about the signal quality and so on and so forth. We're looking at Verizon coverage here. You can come over here and you can select really anybody. Edge Wireless, AT&T is in there, of course, Cell One, whoever, and this is worldwide, by the way. Here's one way to look and see approximately what kind of cell coverage you're going to have. And lo and behold, currently we're staying right up here by this red dot. Actually, we're right here. So we're right in this location. If you look out here on the road, they're showing no signal, and then just down the road here a little bit, they're showing some signal. But it's been my experience that's analog, 1X. Up here there is no cell service without my booster. I didn't even think about it. I just rolled in and set up, put my phone where it normally is. My omnidirectional booster is just always on. I don't even think about it anymore. And I was working along just fine. Like I mentioned, that's when I found out that I couldn't upload, or was not uploading fast, and decided to do something with the directional antenna. So this is one resource. I personally don't participate in this, mostly because it's bad enough that Google tracks me. I don't need these guys tracking me too. But this is a great resource to find, you know, if there's going to be cell coverage up where you're going to be. Secondhand information also comes from something like this, campendium.com. Oftentimes what will happen is you'll get cell phone coverage reports from the people who have stayed there and written reviews. And you can see here, you know, Verizon 4G, 3G, voice only, which is analog, okay. AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile don't even show up down there, and that's pretty typical. Usually you're going to see good coverage from Verizon. That's been my experience. Okay, so here's another site that I looked up from freecampsites.net. This is another one I use regularly to find campsites. This one happens to be over near Bryce Canyon. Okay, it's called Near Red Canyon. It's FR 121. That typically stands for Forest Road 121. and it's a free campsite. They usually give you the directions and GPS coordinates and all that sort of stuff. And in fact, these these guys give you the weather. And here are the reports on cellular. That's another second-hand level of information that you can apply. Okay, so that's pretty much on the computer what I do. I showed a couple other tools. I'm going to show those real quickly. So one of the other things that I've discovered was there's a system out there called the Antenna Registration System from the FCC, and you can use it to locate towers as well. It's pretty cumbersome though, and it doesn't always tell you who the carrier or the provider is, because a lot of cell phone towers are built by companies like ATC, American Tower Corporation, and they're leased out. So say AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, whoever will rent space off that tower. The cellmapper.com, there are others out there, okay? That's, that's the one I use most frequently. But the nerd in me wanted to know, just how far the shot was. And one of the things you need to know about is that cell service is all about line of sight. So let me show you real quick what I mean by line of sight. Why I've got such great coverage up here is there's nothing between me and the cell phone towers, okay? This is just flat desert out here. I'm going to just real quick show you a line that I drew. This green line right here represents a straight line from where I'm parked to the nearest Verizon cell phone tower. What's really cool about Google Earth is you can come down here and you can ask to see a profile, and a profile is a cross section, right? And you see here, we're up here at 5,900 feet, and the cell phone tower is clear down here at 4,700. And there is really nothing between us. There's this little bump right here, which falls right here, but it's not big enough to knock down the signal. With the booster on, without the booster, there is nothing. So that's one of the ways I use Google Earth to locate cell towers and measure the distances, and that's the nerdy side of me. You probably don't care about that kind of stuff. You probably just want service, and that's kind of where I'm at too. The other application I use is called Network Cell Info Lite. And so I've got that running here on my phone. The opening screen here comes up with this meters on it, and what you're seeing there is the top meter shows that I've got a 95 decibel signal, and that is my primary serving cell. And so your serving cell is the cell site that is primary to your phone. It's the one that's actually giving you your cellular service. Then there's a secondary site, and that's the meter below. That's your nearest neighbor. Also, you'll note that this application shows us which band we're on. If you look up on primary at the top meter, we're on band 66. And then the secondary site is only available to provide us with band 13. But we're getting a much stronger signal. The difference between the two bands is the amount of data that can be transmitted on those bands. There's a lot of nerdy things that we could go into in that, but it's not pertinent to this discussion. Maybe another time. So you notice across the top of the application there's some other pages you can go to than the gauge. And so one of the things I like to do is just kind of, when I'm really nerding out, is go over and look at my raw data. It also shows you all your nearest neighbors. So if you look right there, it looks like there's 3 or 4 LTE neighbors available that are close by. So how do you relate back to what cell tower you're getting served by? If you look there, there's the ENB number. That's the identifier number. We run back over here to the cell mapper, and we look right here, and here we are, ENB ID 11115. So real quick, we'll just go look at the other plot pages. This plot page is just a plot of signal quality. It's a referential number that I don't look at too often. Another plotting page, it shows your signal quality and number of decibels. I mean, there's some other information there. Again, I don't use it very often. The stats page, that shows you the amount of time your data has been on or off. And you'll see in our case, we're 100%. So we've had data 100% of the time since this recording started. The mapping function is probably the most valuable of the utilities on the application, and we use it a lot. I use it. You can see here that we're currently attached to this cell tower. It shows it on the map. I've noticed that I've been floating around a little bit too. I've captured a couple of other screenshots throughout the days, and I've noticed that I am moving between towers at times. It hasn't seemed to impact my data quality at all. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is over on Google Earth is another tool that I've discovered. And that's from a cell phone engineering consulting company called Cavell, Mertz and Associates. And we'll turn their icon on to give them due credit. What they've done is they've taken the FCC database, the antenna structure database, and put it on a Google map for you. And so it's pretty handy. We just want to see all the ASR towers. And that shows you their FCC identifier. Remember, we're parked right here. Our line was measured to here. In reality, we are currently attached, let's get back over here, to this tower right here. So we're currently on this tower, which is 121, oops, 0, that one. All right, so let's measure that distance real quick just for fun. From there to there, close enough. Measurements, 53 miles. 53 miles with the directional antenna. Let's see what we get here real quick. It seems like it might have been a little sluggish today, but let's see. I might have to go out and tweak the antenna, see if we can get onto a different cell site. Yeah, 100 millisecond ping, that's not so good. Oh, not too bad. 30, 40, 50, 60, cranking now, rolling, rolling, rolling. That's pretty good. When our upload will be 83 megabits down. And that's about what I was seeing the other day, 4 to 5 up. And that's okay, you know, for where we're at and how far we are away. That's workable. 5.6. So 5.7 was the peak on that. So that's acceptable. Couple of caveats. This is what works for me. I'm on Verizon, so I think Verizon has the best nationwide footprint, especially in the West where I tend to hang out. AT&T, I think you'll find similar results. The app I'm using on my phone, I believe, is specific to Android. There are other apps available on iOS that do a similar function. Plus the Cell Mapper site, which is pretty good, has a tool that you can put on your phone and just view the maps. I think you can turn off the tracking. If you put that on your phone, be sure you know what you're doing, okay? That's probably enough. If there's other questions or comments, make them below. I always try to get back to the comments as soon as I possibly can. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up. Always appreciate those. Don't forget to subscribe. A lot of travel vlogging, still some RV how-to to do this summer before we head back south for winter. But for now, it's time to go. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Till we get together the next time, peace.